Back in 2019, former US President Donald Trump considered buying the country of Greenland for strategic reasons. But what if the roles were reversed? How much would it cost to purchase the United States of America? Before we take a look at the final figure, let's begin by assessing the GDP, assets, and more of the Western superpower. According to the advanced estimate released by the Bureau of Economic Analysis, the United States' real gross domestic product, or GDP, declined at an annual rate of 0.9% in the second quarter of the 2022 financial year, while in the first quarter, real GDP fell by 1.6%. On the other hand, the current dollar GDP grew 7.8% at an annual rate in the second quarter to a level of $24.85 trillion US dollars. The price index for gross domestic purchases grew by 8.2% in the second quarter. The decline in real GDP reflected decreases in private inventory assets, residential fixed investment, federal government spending, state and local government spending, and non-residential fixed assets that were somewhat offset by surges in exports and personal consumption expenditures. The decrease in private inventory assets was led by a decline in retail trade. US total assets held by all Federal Reserve banks is at a current level of $8.89 trillion US dollars. During financial year 2021, the US budget deficit decreased to $2.8 trillion and net operating costs declined to $3.1 trillion. The budget deficit is mainly backed through borrowing from the public. As of September 30, 2021, debt held by the public, apart from accrued interest, was $22.3 trillion US dollars. According to Statista, the total financial assets of households and non-profit organizations in the US grew steadily since 2000, except for a drop in 2018. The cost of household financial assets grew from around 34.46 trillion USD in the year 2000 up to 117.72 trillion USD in 2021. The United States farm real estate value, which is a measurement of the value of overall land and buildings on farms, averaged $3,380 per acre for 2021. The United States cropland value averaged $4,420 per acre, and the United States pasture value averaged $1,480 per acre. Now, it is common for nations to trade land, which often includes a cost involved in the trade. One of the most famous examples was the Louisiana Purchase, in which a land purchase was made by the President of the United States, Thomas Jefferson, in the year 1803. Thomas bought the Louisiana Territory from France. Now, although it's hard to quantify a monetary value for the US, according to the Federal Reserve's most recent Flow of Funds report, the total values of real estates owned by households are $23.151 trillion and businesses are $20.941 trillion. And as for the 628.8 million acres of land held by the federal government, estimated by the Congressional Research Service, prices could range from $500 per acre to $3,000. Going with the maximum because you'll be buying the US at a premium, we arrive at a total of $1.886 trillion. So if we add the GDP total, which is around $21 trillion, and then add it to the total real estate, which totals around $44 trillion, and then finally add land owned by the federal government totaling around $1.8 trillion, then we arrive at a total sum of roughly $67 trillion. In other words, the US is one hell of an expensive establishment to buy. If you enjoyed this video, make sure to give it a like and share, and for more content you can subscribe to the channel and press the bell icon. I'm James, reporting for Kalkine.